Hi, it's Corrine. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today I am sharing a very simple handmade card. This is a standard A2 sized card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm using the grip mat from scrapbook.com, and this will just help to hold my cardstock in place while I'm working on it. I've cut down several panels of Bristol Smooth, and I'm using Speckled Egg Stormy Sky and Chipped Sapphire Distress Oxide inks. If you have not used Distress Oxide with Bristol Smooth cardstock, you may want to give it a try because it is so easy to blend. I know that a lot of people use Solar Classic Nina cardstock as well, and I get a good result from that as well, but nothing like Bristol Smooth. So I'm using this large blending brush that I picked up from Amazon. They come in a set of 6, and I'm just going from lightest to darkest, just taking my time. And I do go over it, I think, about probably 3, possibly 4 times. I do have off to the side a microfiber towel that I am wiping off my brush. I'll wipe it off a little bit. I don't worry about it too much because I use this brush for all blues, but I do, when I go from the darkest, which is Chipped Sapphire, back to the medium, I'll just kind of quickly run it over my microfiber cloth and get the gist of it off. So here I found that my fingers were kind of getting into the ink, so to avoid a mess, I just ripped off a piece of sticky note to kind of hold my fingers in place to be able to blend on it without getting too much of a mess all over myself. So again, I do this 2 or 3 times, and then even if it doesn't look perfect, just set it aside and come back to it later, and it's amazing how it evens out. It's just so pretty when it dries. So this day I did set it aside and worked on several other backgrounds, but for the sake of this video, I just cut to making this card. I just used a little rubbing alcohol and my microfiber cloth to clean off my grip mat. I pulled out this Simon Says Stamp Artwork Grid Plate die and ran it through along with this hello phrase from Pink Fresh Studios. It's the phrase builder, I believe. And I cut out some vellum. I used the Simon Says Stamp Windswept Leaves. These dies that I'm using here today are some of my absolute favorite. This Artwork Grid Plate die is one of my favorites. So I cut that out from 120-pound accent white cardstock. I love using that. I try to always have that on hand. So instead of having to, say, cut 2 of them and glue them together to get the lift, just one of them gives a little bit of lift because it is such a thick cardstock. Although I use this thick cardstock a lot and do 2 and 3 layers sometimes. So as you can see for my shadow, I'm just using some black cardstock. That is Astro Bright's Nina black cardstock. I just get that from Walmart. And then for the hello, I'm using Hammermill 80-pound. I use my Anna Griffith Impress to cut these out. And for the vellum, I just used the Nina brand from Walmart. I bought a bunch of it when it was on sale. So I just keep that in my stash. And I just wanted a little bit of that to peek out behind my cardstock. And I'm sorry, I think I said that I used hammer mill, but I believe that I actually used the 120 pound accent white because I wanted it to match closely, or be an exact match rather, to that background die. So I'm just gluing that on the front of the vellum, letting it peek out slightly, and I'm just putting some paperweights under it. I'm working on just a little bit of a glass mat there to set those on, give them a chance to dry. And then I'm just simply going to lay it out. I love that pop of black with having everything else so white. And that blue background just was so pretty. So I'm pulling out some foam dots. These are from Stampin' Up! And they're very low profile, so I love using these. I also like using thicker foam squares from Dollar Tree or Amazon. So I guess it depends on how much dimension I want on which ones I use. So for today, I just wanted a little bit of dimension behind those leaves. So again, I'm just putting those on the back, adding glue to the rest of it. I'm using a fine tip bottle from Amazon and Barely Art glue. That's my favorite wet glue. So even though I don't show that on camera, I do give that a little time to dry with having the paperweights on it. And then I'm just going to tuck in this last piece to kind of round out the hello die. For the hello die, I do put some dimensionals where it's needed just to keep everything flush, and then add wet glue to the rest of it. I'm not sure if I mentioned, but I think I did 3 layers of that black cardstock underneath, and the hello part I did from glitter cardstock. Earlier I said that I used white cardstock, but hopefully you can see in the video it's actually the glitter cardstock, silver glitter. I made this video quite a while ago, so as I'm doing the voiceover, I'm trying to remember what I used. Here are these little black clay hearts. You'll see me use these a lot on cards, especially if I do a black greeting like that. I think it just ties in the black, and they're one of my favorite things to use on whether it's a Smashbook page, a mini album, or a card. I use them a lot on cards. So that is all there was to the card. It was super simple. I used that 120 pound. That's my favorite to use for card bases as well. It really gives it a nice thickness. I cut it 8.5 by 11.5. So I always like to, when I do that, just make an extra card base right then, so I have another one available for when I'm ready to do a card. So I'll just press that with my bone folder, use the wet glue to glue this down as well. And that finishes my card. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you take a minute to subscribe to my channel, leave me a thumbs up, and let me know what you think of the card in the comments below. It really helps my channel. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a great day.